Hey, good morning. It's Sunday morning. Um, I'm processing so much information, it's actually ridiculous. So if I don't hold on to it, stop, then I won't get it out. But there are a couple things that I guess I'm just going to put into the morphogenetic field structure. Through the network, information travels through electrons, which is data. And the truth is that most of the American people, in particular, are simply not getting enough data because they're not running a processor at a higher rate of speed, which means they're not running on enough light. Because light is producing the electrons. So how much light are you running on? How much are you aware of? Remember, that's vibration perception. So this morning, the first thing right out, I've subscribed to Robert David Steele. He's a former CIA guy. So let's break it down to the most common, simple common denominator. What does he do? He collects data. Okay, and then what does he do? He gives that data to you. So how do you know if that data is true or not? Well, that's up to you. What kind of a universe do you want to live in? Because that data represents energy. That's energy that is communicating to you who they are. And that represents data because you can break it down by frequency and experience. You're aware of the data. So he's an intelligence officer, CIA guy, right? So he's a data collector. Just like, hey, you want to know what the enemy's doing, then you got to be able to read their mail. And what is in their mail? Data, electronic information, electronic data. So one of the things that was very conspicuous, and I posted it as a comment on his latest video, that said, listen, we got to cut to the chase here. Because the guys upstairs, just like what I do down here, okay, are cheering you on, okay, which means raising your state of consciousness, which means raising your vibration. So you can feel and know within your own heart that the light already has this, okay? It's already happened. And if you understand how we map a consciousness field, in this case, the grid that everybody is experiencing being inside this planet, I already know that the victory has already happened because I've already experienced it, because that's a measurement of what? How much light you have and how fast you're going to be able to read the future event. So I know the future event because I've already experienced it. But you all haven't experienced it yet. And the reason that you haven't is because your speed's not up. So you get these intelligence guys that are providing data because you want data. And I know the kind of data that you want. You want the kind of data that's going to raise your vibration so you can feel better. That's why I put these videos up. That's why she prompted me to start putting the information up. We're the tribes. We're native to this planet. This is our home world. We know what's going on before most of you do. Who do you think defends and protects this planet when you come here? We do. Okay? And that's the truth. And those that know who the tribes are and who the clans are know that. Okay? Now, no offense to Robert David Steele, but whenever I come on, whenever Pattie Brassard comes on, whenever Karen Ann Luke McDonald's on, we identify who we are. Because you need to remember, there's a lot of folks that are from here walking around in ET skin suits that are not from this planet. And they do not run the energy that we do. They do not behave the way that we do. You're in Star Wars, the real one. I was just shocked this morning when I heard Benjamin Fulford, who is a former journalist at Forbes magazine, okay? So you know who he's working for, right? The bad guys. So he's getting checks. He's getting money, okay, from the beings that we're getting rid of, okay? So he's not tribe. He's not a healer. He's not a peacekeeper. He's not a teacher. That's what the tribes are. That's the reason this planet is a classroom. We help you learn how to become a powerhouse, a lighthouse, a self-sustaining battery, which means you know how to keep your battery recharged all the time so you're in a state of love and joy and you're having a blast down here. We know how to teach you how to do that. That's the purpose of this planet, is to heal those who've suffered trauma as a result of Star Wars, so you can learn how to keep your battery charged all the time when you're in a war zone. Okay? So that you're not going to get consumed and you lose your soul. That's the bottom line. They know how to do that, and they do that, and use your soul as food. So how are we going to be able to protect you and defend you, okay? It's a classroom to heal you if we don't know how to keep our own battery recharged. Right? That's basic logic. So I told Robert David Steele, do a full data dump. And you might want to start with putting Pattie Brassard on your show, because Pattie's got it all. The size of her library of what she's aware of that she could use to inform everyone else is massive. She built a computer lab at NASA, the Kennedy Space Center. Okay, I'm very aware of everything that she did. And everybody on this planet, in my opinion, should be showing her gratitude and sending her flowers for the amount of work that she did, because I saw what she did, and it had not been for what she did, the fact that we were on a phantom timeline was meant to collapse and burn the battery out. Now scale that up, because when Ben Fulford said, when Robert David Steele said, well, what about all the ET presidents? How do the ETs fit into all this? And you want to know what Fulford's response was on that? Well, I haven't seen it. It's like, wait a second. You're a journalist and you're collecting data. Have you not ever looked at the space program and realized that, there are engines and motors like ion drives, pulse drives? There are ways to travel across the universe at speeds that are unheard of. You ever heard of decloaking and what cloaking is? They're here. They don't want to freak anybody out because you're not used to making contact or seeing ships like that go at those speeds. But as I've mentioned before, all you got to do is go on a mountaintop, grab yourself a pair of Navy binoculars or any regular binoculars and start seeing the stuff going across the sky at night. Wow, that's not an airplane. No, it's not. Then what is it? Somebody's operating that vehicle. So, for what it's worth, okay, I've always recommended Pattie Brassard because she's got it all. She's got all the data. She's got a group on Facebook called Data Group, okay? She has another one, which is the radiation graphics rooms. And then when it comes to energy medicine, I don't know of anybody more that I've met, okay, other than the girl on the planet that knows more about energy medicine. She's a medicine woman. She's my clan mother. That's Karen Ann Luke McDonald, which is White Bear, which is part of a much larger clan, which is Bear Clan. Okay? So we know how to heal you. We know how to get your vibration up. That's the most important thing that we can do right now. Because the folks upstairs are mapping the consciousness field to see the incremental changes in consciousness based on the information that they're getting that allows them to realize, wow, we're really being liberated. Freedom, really, is that really going to happen? The bad guys that are holding our minds' energy captive to feed off us, in which all the pain and suffering that we experience, that they make money off, is going to end? Yes, it's already happened. You just haven't experienced it yet. I already have. So this is why I recommend that, particularly with children, if you're experiencing weakness in you and fear in you, that's energy, and your children are going to experience that. So, for me, it's all for the children. I mean, there's obviously other considerations, but in this case, children are vulnerable. Because what they experience when they're a child, they carry with them their whole life. So they need more love, they need more light, they need more care, compassion, and empathy, and not fear. Okay? If you can feel in my heart the trust that's there because I have so much love in my heart for you, then you ought to know what the truth is, because that's what love is, because that's what light is, and living spirit, because that's what I am. Anyway, have a great day. I love you all. My emotions were up after listening to Ben Fulford. I thought to myself, think about that for a second. This guy was a journalist. He's providing information, everybody. He actually charges people for information, okay? I don't. The tribes and the clans, that's why we're the teachers down here. I saw a picture a guy put up the other day of a Tesla tower. Tesla coil was up in Texas. Wow. What does that inform you of? Free energy is already beginning. Putting a meter on the energy of the universe is a crime, actually. When all you got to do is learn how to do it. But if you just started to develop ways in which to provide free energy for people, the cabal, what do you think they do? You're going to cut into their profits. They can't have that, because once you begin to realize, wow, free energy, What do you think is one of their largest sources of profit? And what do you think that demons do with profit? Build armies, hire mercenaries, hire assassins, hire killers to make sure that they don't lose any of their density, because they love lower density. Okay? Higher density is higher speed. You get to experience more of what the light creates in love and service to others. And you've learned how to do that to be a powerful battery, which is self-sustaining. Then you learn through the tribes and the clans, which is why we're all here, to do that. That eliminates pain and suffering, doesn't it? Right? Particularly if you look at all the work that was done by Dr. Robert O. Young. So you can begin to see that there's a lot of us that are out here, okay, that are trying to put out information, okay, that has value, because it's packed with an enormous amount of light, which is an enormous amount of infinite love. Okay? When you realize that you already got everything that you need in the light, okay, then we don't live in any fear of telling you the truth, because we already got everything that we need. Which means I don't need anything from anybody in order to feel the love I have in my heart that I'm giving you. That is the genius of the cosmos. Because the cosmos is intelligent and it's creative. When you've learned how to be able to do that, then you can graduate from this classroom and go on. Because we're shutting this one down. And that's pretty obvious, particularly if you went to the U.S. Navy's SETI website, looked at the stereo sound library that they were showing you, and you could have seen all the star cruises that came in through the Sun Gate and the war that was going on above our heads to take all their stuff out. So they don't have any escape routes. It's over. There's a fence around this planet. There isn't anything getting in or out of here that isn't love and light. So it's over. Relax. It's a time to celebrate, sing and dance, and give as much love to your children and loved ones and family and everybody in your neighborhood. They would love to see that happen all across the planet. Because once all that energy goes up, then the dark is going to realize, wow, we really are outnumbered. So the natives are on the warpath. Put 2 red stripes across my cheek. Anyway, I love you all. Have a great day.